What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Another edition Holy Try Football Podcast. It is Week 8 preview, middle of October. It's the 19th right now. Almost Halloween. Get your costumes ready. Get your candy. We got ours the other day. Good to go. And some were at parades last night. They're in full force.
Yes.
Uh,
Was that a Halloween parade?
it was, yes. We got a few
Okay.
videos of a few
Shorty
videos.
Cup. Shorty Cup.
Charlie Cup, some videos and photos of my favorites. There were some little dirt cars. There was a Michael Myers video and a Beetlejuice photo. So my Halloween spectrum was covered.
Good job.
Dan actually in Cleveland could enjoy some Shorty Cup action.
And Cleveland, oh, in Cleveland. To my west, Dan, what's up?
Yeah, in Cleveland, the weather turned a little bit earlier than I would like. I know Ken usually gives us the weather updates, but we had some sleet, some wintry mix the last couple of days, and then we will cap off the weekend with 7-degree weather. Bizarre. Other than that, I'm doing all right, trying to not get sick because this is the time of the year. This is a key. If I get through this, I'll probably be good until December, January-ish. Then that'll be the next time to stave off illness.
I got my flu shot today, so if you haven't and you feel so inclined and believe in these types of things with the shots, go and get your flu shot for the year, for the winter.
Good PSA.
Yep, that is Can to my east. What is going on as we hydrate?
It's pretty chilly. It has not been good for my exercise. I wanted to ball. Hopped on the bike for 20 minutes yesterday. Got a sweat in there, but a little too cold for ball. Ball not for all out here for now.
Windy
Maybe
as
this
well.
weekend.
At least it is here. It's been windy
Yeah.
on these runs, but enjoy the chill. It is going to get a little warmer next year. It's a smidge. Might hit 60 tomorrow here, but that's what we got. So we're in the week 8. Week 7 is here and gone. Not a great week for the pod. Dan had the best week. He was off. One of us got throttled. The other one got embarrassed.
We all got it.
The two worst kinds of losses.
Yeah, so I don't know where we want to go. I'm just gonna get off the chest now. That was just an absolute pitiful performance by Notre Dame. That's really all there is to it.
For the second time. What in the hell?
Stanford is so bad. They're so bad. Even during the game, they were so bad. Oh, it's kidding. Just looking at the numbers, trying to break it down, it really just.
What's the issue here? What can is there something you can put your finger at, or what's going on?
I think this past weekend it had to have been some sort of. It was back to a Pine issue. Looking at the last two games against Carolina, I know bad defense, but then against who was the week after that? I don't remember. Oh,
BYU.
His downfield, the passing of like 10 air yards or more down the field, Pine was awesome. Whether it be receivers getting open, play calling, maybe more time with the offensive line, or just Pine settling in and being accurate. He was awesome those last two games. Carolina, I know, I keep saying the defense, but just that's the precedent I'm going to say here. The defense is bad there, we get it. But BYU, it's a real defense. Stanford's defense is awful, and Pine just was awful. I don't know, combination of inaccuracy, play calling, receivers getting open. I don't know what it was. Just bad the office, and the running game could not get going. The 4th and 1 from the goal line, you're on the end around with 4 blockers and 6 defenders. Estime, when Notre Dame was driving for the win, Estime running super hard, fumbles it. First half was just literally the most embarrassing thing I've ever. That was incredibly bad. I think it was 10-0 at halftime.
Not good.
Puzzling.
Then Notre Dame took the lead. And I was like, okay, fine, we're going to escape. No, but whatever. I guess. And I credit Freeman for facing it head on at least. If we have to do, I get it, but he's not really dodging things. He's spitting out real answers. But it is infuriating. At least it's 3-3, and not like at least Notre Dame wasn't 5-0 and then had this clunker. That would have. Oh man, would that have stunk.
Yes.
But
can't bear to watch the rest of this.
Two home losses. in the first 6 weeks, first 6 games of 17 or more favorites is not good.
Nope.
Now it's 26.5 this week against UNLV. I don't know if Grunfeld's playing. He was literally their only player. And we didn't play last week against Air Force. And they got absolutely drilled. UNLV is somehow worse than Stanford. So we'll see how this goes this weekend. Ken, as for your game, I didn't see much. I'll let you speak on it. I did see part of the third quarter. Obviously, went back through and watched everything. And so what? Okay, so I was driving. I was like, I'll watch second half, but I couldn't do that. I saw the halftime show and everything, and saw the score, and saw the box score, and the way they described it, and they were saying how this game feels like Michigan's up 28-0, but it's not the case.
Yeah, it was
evened out. I don't know. So go ahead.
But they lose 41-17.
I believe that was the final.
That was nowhere near as close. I think it should have been probably at least a 2 or 3 more touchdown differential there. So,
and Fat Clat reminded you of that.
Yes.
Twisting the knife on the broadcast, just very rude.
That was good. That was good. I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't wrong. Everybody watching the game could plainly tell.
Plug some stupid Fox sitcom instead of reminding all the miserable people. It's like not to open old wounds for myself, but it's like when they were playing highlights of, I think, Penn State beating
Penn State Pitt 1981.
Yeah, whatever year that was. They're playing highlights of that as Notre Dame's beating them like 30-0.
Fuck USC, Don. Don.
But continue.
Hey, fellas. Hey, Don.
Hey, Don.
Yeah, I mean, Penn State. The end of the line is the bottom line is Penn State has been building and building and building to play one team and defeat and compete with one team, and that's Ohio State. And we know what type of an offense Ohio State runs: extremely explosive, extremely wide open. Penn State has been recruiting athletes that they feel can match up the best in that one game, because it's oftentimes, that's who you're measuring yourself against. The issue is then you're getting into games like Illinois in 2021 or Michigan here in 2022, where they can do anything they want and run for 4 or 5 yards every play, and you can't stop them. And now Penn State's in this weird no man's land where they can definitely get out physicaled and bully balled, but they're also not good enough to stop an Ohio State offense. So where does that leave the defense? You'll hear people talking about, Penn State's offense didn't do their defense any favors, which is true. I mean, they didn't stay on the field, but these issues were way, way earlier than when they got worn down and tired in the second half. Those 60-yard runs back-to-back drives were not. We're just the last symptom, right? That's. I mean, I'm sorry for the callous comparison, but that's end game. That's hospice care there. The symptoms and the issue you could see the symptoms in the first quarter. Penn State couldn't stop a drive until there was a mistake on that first drive by McCarthy. Otherwise, they would have scored a touchdown. Obviously, they were lucky. They were driven on every drive. They didn't force a punt. Michigan didn't punt a single time in the game. I mean, I don't think you have to go any further than that to see the issues on defense. And then offense, unimaginative gameplay, game calling, or play calling, sorry, from Yurcich, I think is number one the issue. They came out and sure they may think that their offensive line is better, which it has been, but they came out and literally tried to play bully ball with Michigan, the bullies of the freaking conference. And you try to play their game, they're obviously going to beat your asses. They couldn't run the ball. They really didn't attack the linebackers, which is Michigan's defense's, weaker point. I don't know if it's necessarily a weakness, but I guess it's the weakest link. And Clifford, I don't think he played a bad game, but I don't think he was put in any position to succeed by Yurcich. And Penn State doesn't have any threats in the passing game, so you're left with nothing. Everybody was rightfully gobsmacked at Penn State having a lead in the third quarter, which was ridiculous. It quickly corrected itself, obviously. It's you got some soul searching to do, and you turn around and you play a very similar team here coming up this week, which we'll get to here in probably a little less than an hour. But it is there's a referendum coming on this Penn State defense, and it's a very important time. Again, just like a certain Minnesota game at home 6 or so years ago. It's crossroads time for Franklin and his program. I know he lost a lot of people. Support this past weekend.
Yeah, not ideal.
All that to say, Dan, you're lucky that you didn't play and have a game of your team ruin what was one of the best weekends of college football in a long, long time.
I have that.
You have that. Both our teams. I'm not a Penn State fan, but AY's team let him down and ruined. Or I don't know if it ruined, but it definitely sullied what was an incredible day of football.
Minimally though.
Minimal. Well, you were at the end. You had already enjoyed the full day.
I enjoyed the full day, and at that point, I mean, when you're 3-2, you know you're not very good.
3, yeah.
It doesn't sting nearly as bad.
Right. It doesn't sting as bad.
It was annoying, yeah, but yeah, just a minimal damper. So I was traveling a lot. Went from Philly to west of State College.
Wow, it's long. That's
During the
4
day.
or so hours.
With a stop in between. So I caught some of the game at Hans' aunt's house. And then we get to Hans' friends, and she wants to see her baby. So we're sitting there for 5 minutes, and I'm just like, I'm this close to being like, hey, can I get the remote? Can I pull my phone? She goes, you can use the TV if you want. And I was like, now we go. Turn it on.
That's how it works. Yes.
I just want to be nice, just sit there, be a good boy. Turn on the tube. It is beginning of the third quarter of Bama, Tennessee.
Whoa, in Neyland.
We left. Han was waiting in the car, and I was like, dude, there's 20 seconds left. I am not leaving now. So I left. Got to see the whole second half. So I was very pleased with that, to have taken in that game.
That game was pretty good. It's pretty dang good.
Bama,
I myself,
so many penalties.
so many penalties. Bama, so many
16,
penalties.
right? 17?
17. I think it was a record. Yeah, for them.
After having all those penalties against Texas, as I heard someone point out this.
Right. Probably
recently.
one of the most undisciplined teams Saban's ever had.
Which is ironic because in this game, I would have expected Tennessee to,
Right.
with Josh Heupel, who I'm still not. He's got to
You're
finish
still not
this.
sold on. I think
He's got to finish this off.
Yeah, he does.
He's got to get to 10 wins at least in the regular season.
Let me give him this. Bryce Young looked incredible. I don't think he's got very. I mean, obviously he's got help. He's got some great athletes. Jahmyr Gibbs is awesome, but he's carrying that team on his back. It was awesome to watch. It was awesome to watch Hendon just fire back every time. And even when there were the mistake, there was that interception and there was a fumble that went for the touchdown. They didn't back down. They kept swinging and swinging. That Alabama secondary, I'm really interested to see what Ewers would have been able to do if he'd stayed in there, right? This is the first time you've seen Alabama really struggle like this. I mean, as much as you can say struggle.
3 times half the
In
season.
a long, long time. Yeah, they should have lost, or they should have, or could have lost twice already, right?
Yeah.
And they did, like Dan said, the third time gets them.
Yep.
It's pretty incredible. It's not to say I don't think the West is very, very strong anyway. I think they'll be playing either Georgia or Tennessee again in the SEC title game. But
And it's because it's just we were talking about it a little bit before we started, but it's just Lane at this point.
exactly,
There's no other contenders.
and I'm not sure Lane is that good, despite his record.
We may get to that later.
Yeah, exactly. But other
We
games,
will.
I mean, the same time as that Tennessee game, Dan's Pokes, his last shot.
Mm-hmm.
You
My
wanna take
last
that one, Dan?
long-ish shot, they weren't even that much, but I would say they were a playoff long shot, but they weren't a Big 12 long shot.
Oh no, not
like
by
Washington.
playoff long shot. Yeah, I mean, Big 12. Yeah.
Yeah, they're on, and we'll get to them later too. Very surprised by that number
Yeah.
against Texas
Mm-hmm.
at home. So I have to see if there's anybody that got hurt. But
Well, Sanders is questionable. I think. Right?
Yeah.
He's nicked. But consult Don Best or
They're fired.
whoever replaces
we severed our
whatever
partnership.
replacement we have for him.
Yeah.
That was an amazing game. Then Don correctly bringing up fuck USC. USC with they were up by 2 or 3 touchdowns multiple times in that game, right? Utah played like the team that obviously that was desperate. They had 2 losses already. Whatever small chance they've still got for the Pac-12 championship, I guess it's not that small. They only
It's
have
not small now. It was if they had lost.
Yeah,
obviously.
exactly. They were fighting for the Pac-12 championship chances. So, they were playing with those helmets that Roth doesn't like, and I think most of us don't like. But
Special edition.
hand painted. I liked it.
Walker's a fan. He said to me, I saw him on Sunday. He said, "How do you not bet on a team that has 2 dead guys on their helmet?"
Yeah, oh, we would have lost against the spread. At
I
least.
go, yeah, you're right, Ock.
Well, Grant did jump
US
on them.
USC still covered, but
Yeah, USC still covered. Grant did jump on them live, so he did get the money line, the Utah money line. So nice win there. But even throughout all that, it felt like USC Utah got a ton of breaks, including an interception that was terribly called, and then some other bungling by the Pac-12 refs. But USC,
Jordan Addison also hurt.
yeah, I think USC still in. I don't want to say they're in great shape, but I think they're still a really good team, and I don't think they've got the pieces down in the trenches, but that offense, Lincoln Riley is a magician. He really is. I think it's long overdue, but I will now bestow upon him best play caller.
The coveted, highly coveted.
Taking it from Jimbo.
The belt has been taken from Jimbo.
Yeah. Jimbo relinquished that probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
He was still the lineal best player.
Yeah, exactly. He's yes within the. Nobody took. Yeah, this is long overdue. Like I said, but Lincoln is. Would you say there's anybody better than him in offensively in the game right now?
Lane's up there. I do think.
Yeah.
Still, he's sustained. I would think. Get to them also. How many times are you going to say it? Chip having a bit of a renaissance offensively.
Well, yeah, I think we need. I'm also.
And then where do you?
Heupel? I am in the Chip. I am with Chip right now on this season where you are with Heupel. I need to see him finish it out.
Yeah,
I'm still not, especially after that USA stench from that game 2 or 3.
And here's a weird one to throw into the mix: the Clawfence. That's a weird one to throw into the mix.
You like the slow mesh, or do you not like the slow mesh?
I like that it works, and that's really all that Woke could probably do.
I think it might be Grant that hates the slow mesh.
I like it. I like how it's very different.
Yeah.
I like
that's why I said they're a wild card. But the production. You had the Wolford wagon was the OG. That was the first time it really fired the claw fence, and then now obviously Hartman.
Yeah.
Even the guy before him was pretty good too. I can't remember who the quarterback was in 2018, but
Well, the guy that went to Georgia, Newman.
no, Jamie Newman. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jamie Newman. Yeah.
Newman.
So that's one I'd like to throw into the pot. But yeah, but Lincoln, yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
If the King makes his way back,
The King.
the King's very not firing in the NFL, but I think he's got some.
How are you doing on your
Yes.
season totals there, Steve?
Yeah, well, this is a big one Thursday. We'll see. It's all the over 7.5 and over 8.5 on the cards. I still believe in the fact that they made the playoffs last year. Basically,
You believe.
So, Hopkins coming back. Aints banged up. Need this one Thursday.
You believe that they will win. You believe that they will win.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Anyway.
we'll wrap up last week. We mentioned Lane got by Auburn. Oklahoma by 10 over Kansas. Oklahoma scored 0 1 week, 52 the next, but Kansas will help you out with that. Texas skates by Campbell and Iowa State. Illinois, 26-14 over Minnesota. That one surprised me. Didn't see any of
Should
that.
not go unnoticed.
That one was impressive. Georgia 55-0 over Anchor Down. You mentioned TCU. Cuse 24-9 over a lifeless NC State. That's
Leary out for the year. That's a shame. That's a gut.
That is a shame. That's a blow. Is there a more cursed program than NC State? I don't know.
probably. Yeah.
Probably.
More cursed, yes.
It hurts to say this, but we did hit on our lock this week with Georgia Southern over my Dukes.
Outright.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a perfect storm here. I thought JMU was going to win this game by 7. It looked good until what was it? They were up 24-14 in the third. I was like, all right. And I checked back a little later, and it was they were down 34-24. But then they were up 38-37 and a minute to go.
Heartbreaker. Is Clay a sneaky Arizona State candidate?
Oh.
The 1 year rehab at Georgia. No, are they Jonesboro? Yeah.
Statesboro.
Statesboro. So there's Jonesboro, Arkansas. That's Arkansas State, right?
Yeah. I know it's Statesboro. I got reaffirmed that today because I saw that guy take that girl on a date and then walked in the propeller.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
He went to Georgia Southern, and it was in Statesboro.
Very good.
Or not very good that he died walking into a propeller.
Was that that was you, Dan, that sent us that game last year of the universities and where they're from?
Yeah, the Sporkle. Sporkle.
Yeah.
I did that recently. I was very, very much worse than when we did it. I don't know what got into me.
Well, you're getting older is what you're getting.
Could be.
Clemson got by Osceola and Renegade. Kentucky took out Lichiro. That's what we got for the ranked games last week.
Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned that
Yeah,
about NC State.
You mentioned.
You mentioned the heck.
Oh. Any other? Well, did we mention Clemson against the Ailers and the Anus? Was it, or not? Memphis against the Anus.
We didn't get that deep in the barrel.
I know. I just went with the ranked teams.
That was a good game. That was a really good game. All right, shall we get going?
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
All right. Okay.
What do we got? Oh, I don't know what we got first here.
Starting with a bang.
Iowa,
-29.
Ohio State, 29. Cam, what was that Petras fact today?
Petras, 161 pass attempts on the year. C.J. Stroud only 160. Iowa and and Brian Ferentz chucking the ball all over the field. It's funny to think. I think Stroud's got twice as much yardage though on his less attempts.
I would have taken over twice.
Yeah. I think it might be 4 times the touchdown passes though.
Yeah.
He might have had more in that one Michigan State game than Petras has all year. But I'll tell you what. I'm not laying the points here. I will take Iowa. I think, they'll try to take as much air out of the ball as they usually do. Maybe their defense will come with a turnover here and there. I think it'll be very comfortable the whole way, but or maybe a backdoor cover there at the end. But I'll take them to lose by 28. I'll go 49-21.
I'm going 38-7 Ohio State. That's all.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Ohio State too. I think I want this parents' pressure to just go up even more, even though it should already be up super high. I don't know how it's not, but yeah, I'm gonna go Ohio State too. Ohio State by 30. Cuse, Clemson. I actually have a bet on this game.
Ooh.
I have made no bet since football started. Not one. I don't know why. I don't know why. I guess because I'm in all these pools. I'm in your office pool.
You're occupied with those.
I'm occupied. Yeah, I pick 20 games a week, and I rank the confidence level in one pool. I got the sim pool. I got super contest. I'm occupied, so I get my fix. But Dan, you remember this? I just rememred that I had that free bet from last year where I took VCU minus 2.5.
Parlayed, yeah.
Again over Richmond. This is college basketball back in February.
Yeah,
Parlayed that with Max Verstappen to win the World Drivers' Championship. That paid out this past week.
Ooh.
So I went in and just rolled it over. I put it on Clemson to win this weekend, and I took Verstappen to win this weekend as well.
I thought you were going to say you took the spread, but okay.
No, so I got Clemson minus whatever, like minus 900.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
I know people, I know professionals like Todd Furman and Gilly, these guys will hate. Oh, I'm just trying to even out the juice. Well, if Clemson loses to Syracuse, then I deserve it. I'm prepared for that. So I got it. It's like even. It's like almost even money.
There you go.
But that being said, yeah, I think Clemson puts the clamps down on Cuse here. Good story here with the Syracuse running back. What's his name?
Sean Carter.
It was eluding me. Sean Carter, yeah.
A good report.
Or is it Sean Tucker?
Sean Tucker, not Sean Carter. Sean Carter is
Jay-Z.
Yes.
Sean Tucker, yeah, my fault.
Sean Tucker is the tweet. He tweets about his stats every week.
Yeah, that is annoying.
Proud.
Hey, he's getting his name out there.
Yeah, well, let's see him tweet.
It is Tucker, yeah.
It's like when these teams tweet out the final score and they try not to when they get blown out. And people say, tweet the score. Well, tweet your stats this week, buddy. Clemson by 23. 30-7.
I'm Oppo. In terms of the spread, I do think Clemson will also win. But listen to this stretch they're coming off of. You had starting with the double OT at Woke. Then you had the tough one, in NC State, BC, whatever. And then you had this other tough game against Florida State. Not, that the matter was ever in doubt very much, but
true.
That's a tough stretch within the context of the ACC.
Early kick too.
Yeah, and I'll take and that's no bye week there. So I will take the points with the Qs. And we'll see what happens. Dino Magic in play here for the second time in 4 years.
The Dino Magic.
Yep. Unless it's against the Irish, which we'll get to that next week.
Mm-hmm. AY, yeah. So you did you take him to cover though?
Clemson,
no, he said 20 by 23.
Okay. I will take it with you guys. I'll say 23-10 as well. A cover from Syracuse.
So 23 involved in some of the
in some form.
Yeah.
Everybody thinking Dino.
No, I'm thinking
David.
Clemson.
You get that stenography down right, Ken?
No, I didn't. AY think
AY Clemp, Dan Can Syracuse.
All right.
Yep, moving on to Ole Miss.
This is the one I've been looking for.
This is stinky.
Number 7, Ole Miss. Top
The
10,
angle.
Ole Miss. At unranked LSU. Ole Miss favored by no, they're not. LSU favored 1.5, 2. Depending where you look, we're picking up 1.5. But I don't like this LSU offense at all.
You don't like this coach either.
No, I don't. But I don't like this offense either. I mean, I didn't like it last year. I don't like it this year. I like it when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but this isn't it. And Ole Miss knows who they are. They run the ball. But there's certain spots that you walk into, and you show up at, and it just doesn't work. Luckily for Ole Miss, this game is not at night. And I know LSU last time they played a big game at home during the day. They got the immediate flash fry by the Vols.
Huh.
I think knowing this coach a little bit, I think we'll have him ready here. And he does not lose games to the favorite. That's one thing he did not do up north. So let's keep it going down south. LSU wins this game. Absolute just mess of a game. 20-17.
Are you caught up on the Rosillo pods, AY?
I listened to Monday.
Okay.
No.
Well, he,
No, I
yeah,
didn't.
because
I
he
didn't.
buried
I did not listen to Monday.
he buried Ole Miss. He still doesn't have him in his top 12.
In his top 12. Oh, geez.
And he had Lane on the show last week and absolutely shit on Ole Miss. I mean, I get
did.
it is
He
what it
did,
is, but
And
th-
that one recent life advice, tell me. I'll circle back to it when I think of it.
yeah. So this one I've been searching. I don't think I've went against the angle pretty much all year. I will now.
You will.
I will now.
LSU was ass.
I think LSU's only favored because they played the way they did last week, and I'm just going to go against that being sustained. I feel like this is just going to be an up and down year. Are they calling it year zero? I mean, he's 5-2, right? Kelly is
It's year one. Year one.
But you know how they do these year zero. Like Brent Pry is in year zero at Virginia Tech at this point. It's obviously not actually year zero, but yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go with. I'll go with the rushing attack, giving them some problems, and then Jackson Dart fires a dart or two to pull it out. It could be classic. I'll go 34-31. I don't know what the total is in this game, but I think there's going to be points. 68. So there you go. 34-31.
Not enough to cover.
Hotty toddy. Not enough to get over.
Yeah.
Looks perfect, though. Weather looks perfect per the AccuWeather icon on the ESPN scoreboard.
Very nice.
Speaking of which, did they fix the autoplay on the videos? Because I haven't heard anything in my ear this whole time. I don't want to jinx it.
Don't.
Good job, ESPN, if you did something.
Good job, ESPN. I'm with you, Dan. I will take Lane.
Lane train.
Yeah, Lane train here.
All right.
Yeah.
Up and down, up and down.
When do
Anyway,
they play Bama? When do they play Bama?
would you say 20-13, AY?
2017 LSU.
Okay.
AY going way under. You should throw it out of your parlay if it's not too late.
I don't want to get too risky.
So they can get by these two road games, then they have a bye and Bama at home. Interesting. I don't think they do it. I think they either lose this week or next week. Yeah.
A&M could be a classic game for them to lose. Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah.
All right. This is the game of the week here.
Top 10 matchup, UCLA, Oregon. Oregon, 6-point favorites at home against the Bruins. Going here. We're talking about how Chip's got it going. Lanning.
Bucks coming off a bye.
So,
Chip looking good. DTR's been awesome.
As is Chip, by the way, Cam.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
pretty good.
I don't know. This is probably the last thing I need to see from them to actually buy in on them. I don't know if they. I still don't think they're that good. That was a nice win over Utah. I don't put much stock into the Washington win. I'm gonna go here with Bo and Oregon. I think they're better. It'll be a hostile environment. They'll be amped up, especially with Chip coming back to town. I will take Oregon here to cover. No hedging P from me.
All right.
I'll go with a 10-point win, 31-21.
All right, I'll give mine so AY can be the decider here. I don't respect this Oregon team still. I'm looking at the results. The BYU win was obviously impressive at the time. Lost some of its luster on there. Should have lost to Wazoo. And then they get wins over Stanford and Arizona. Again, both teams coming off the bye. I just like what I've seen, the more tangible evidence out of Chip scoring. And you got to at least take the points. I think to win it outright. Look out for the calls, because obviously you could say, so Pac-12, they've got at this point who for their the playoff drought that is 5 seasons and running at this point.
The last was what, Washington?
Yeah, 2016. Yeah, maybe 6. Yeah, 5 or 6 seasons. I never know how to count that exactly. 5 or 6 seasons and counting. It's them and USC at this point. UCLA and USC. They cannot put that Oregon team in with that loss to Georgia, even if they go 12-1 somehow. So I will. I'll throw that all into the goulash for my pick. Better wins for UCLA, slightly better players, better quarterback for sure.
Here's a question I have for you, and not to go too far back in history, because you see the loss at Ohio State, and just to stick on that comment you made about Oregon and not making it because of the blowout loss. So the Ohio State team in 2018 got blown up by Purdue, 1 loss. They did not put them in. Do you think Penn State in 2016, had they beaten Pitt, they would have gotten in with a blowout loss to Michigan?
I think they should have gotten it anyway, so I'm going to say yes.
Okay. So
because that was clearly the best conference that year. That
Okay.
was my whole point.
Gotcha. Okay. But that would not be enough for Oregon to overcome their loss.
I don't think so. No.
Their blowout loss. Sorry.
Even though you would think they'd have to beat. I haven't looked at their schedule. Let me see here. So they have to win this game, obviously.
They would beat a
they'd have
top
to beat
10
Utah.
UCLA team.
So they could have potentially gone through UCLA, Utah, and USC. I mean, you can't.
When do they play Tar?
Second to last week of the season. I mean, then they got the Civil War. Who knows? The Beavs could be firing again.
The Silver War, yep.
I think Oregon's still alive. I think at that point they will look back and say that was Labor Day.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
I
could,
think it would be enough time had passed,
they
obviously.
could,
As
they
mo-
could spin
the
it
most
that way if
time
they
as
wanted to.
possible. And by that point.
Yep.
If they wanted to, they could spin it that way. I mean, they can fit whatever narrative they want to.
Exactly.
It's just
Exactly.
a completely rotating narrative.
Not going to happen, though.
Yeah.
It all ends this weekend, in my opinion.
Before we get into this next game.
Well, AY's going to give his pick.
AY did not even pick it.
He's going to be he's the deciding vote here.
To play cases here. When I first saw this, I thought I'm just gonna. My first thought was gonna take Oregon to cover.
Mm.
Then I was like, yeah, DTR, Chip.
Charbonnet, Bobo.
I was like, am I really gonna back Bo Nix here? This Oregon defense that I continually overrate. So then I landed on HP. So give me UCLA. Give me the points. Here.
Oh!
Give me the points. The HPs worked out last week. I think I was 2-2 on HPs. Otherwise, bad week for me for sure. But the HPs worked out.
You got a large margin of HPage that you can work with.
That is, yeah, a lot of HPs. So let's go back to this week. Give me Oregon wins though.
All right.
I think they just muck it up. I'm not. It used to be a close game, but that doesn't mean it's a good game. I think it'll be good enough. Yeah, Oregon by 3 or 4. I do like this UCLA team. I'm kind of rooting for them. Yeah, that's where we are. What's this big game next that you mentioned, Cam?
Well, I said before we get into this next
Oh,
game.
this next game is.
Yeah.
This game is intriguing. Line is odd. Health issue apparent.
Yeah. I wish we could pull up the schedule here and put it on the screen so people that are watching can see.
You know what?
Texas's schedule for 2025 is the most absurd thing I've ever seen. They play out of conference. I'm gonna read it off here. Like
I might
you
read
see
that.
them winning more than 8 games with the schedule.
Well, love to see their personnel.
I mean, it is 3 years away, but like,
Oh, no,
did
Hang on, I
Make it
got
out.
it here, Ken. Hang on,
What?
ready? Hang on,
You're pulling it up, or I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up.
I got it. Hold on.
You're sharing your
Let's see
screen.
if we can keep going here. Yeah.
Adam. Oh, here we go. Oh. You got it. Look at this schedule. This schedule is incredible. Ohio State, at Ohio State to open the season.
Josie.
Josie, the only maybe gimme on the schedule.
who might
Also
win
would
the
say
Mount,
Tep.
who might win the Mountain West this year?
Wait. This is not the right schedule. This is a Big 12 schedule.
Ken, are you doubting FBSschedules.com?
I think I don't know.
It's true. They are going to the Southeastern Conference.
Bad job, FBSschedules.com. Where were you referring to, Ken?
Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
I did see it was that you sent that image
Texas State.
in the
You want to
chat
look at that?
because they get their non-con was Ohio State and
And Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, and then they get the SEC slate of Bama and they get Bama and Georgia.
They had the schedule that I saw. I got it here. You got at Ohio State, San Jose, then Texas Tech at home, then at Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, at Mississippi State, at Auburn, home to Alabama, home to LSU, at Kentucky, Texas A&M.
Not fun.
I could
But
conceive
will they be back at that point?
they could be back.
That's the
back
arch.
to-
That's going to be the arch. Arch
Back-
Heisman.
I mean, it'll be 8 years. 8 wins is a good season. That's a ridiculous schedule.
Yep. That could be the arch.
I could see them going anywhere from 9 wins to literally 2 wins.
That's gonna be tough. Well, let's get to this week though. They are 6-point favorites in Stillwater against the Pope.
Yep.
You think
Apparently,
Gunny's-
I just was looking at, you may have seen from my other tabs I'd opened there. Quick Google News search, Spencer Sanders, Gundy being secretive about this. So we don't know, is the point. Sure would have been nice for my Big 12 championship prediction if they'd actually held on to that giant lead.
That would have been good. Well, you're taking
This
the
is
points.
kind of
aren't you? Are you taking the points, Dan?
I'm going to just pick them to win again. Screw it.
All right.
I'm
This will
with
be
Dan.
everything down the drain if they lose. So
I think Texas is good with Ewers at the helm,
Hey, home.
but I just think they're still not good enough. They're not the next level on the road.
certainly not.
This is a road game. We've seen it this year. Even last week, they struggled at home. Like, it happens. I get it. But, yeah, give me Okie State outright.
Bust out those paddles, Stillwater.
I think we are all on Okie State. I will take the HP though here.
Okay.
Take another skin of their teeth to win. I think it'll be another good one. I'll take a 31-26 victory. They will try for the 2-point conversion and not get it.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Lichiro and Mississippi State traveling to Alabama, catching 21 here are the Bulldogs. Listen, might have been a week ago. I liked Mississippi State a lot. I mean, I still do, but after losing to Kentucky and now getting an unhappy Bama team that has to refocus and lock in. I saw that. I don't know who tweeted this. Bama's record after the rest of the season after a loss the last 6 years, or 8 years, whatever. They're 29-1.
Hmm.
they just go into the even more of a beast mode. So I'm not messing with that, obviously. Do they cover the 21 here? I'm gonna say no. They don't. I think we've seen enough evidence here for Bama
Yeah.
through 6-7 games. We said last week, the 2 close calls. This is not like the Bama team we're used to. And now last week, yeah, they're up 7 late last week, but still, they're on 28-10. Bama teams don't do this. 21 too much against, I think, a very capable offense that Rodgers pilots for the Bulldogs. So I will take the points.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I'm going to side with you here, but I will say I do think that we'll see a better performance out of Alabama's secondary. I'm sure it's been a long, long week already of practice for them. So I like them to come out here and play better against a pass-happy team like Mississippi State. They'll be ready and for the challenge. They'll want to prove themselves as championship competitors. So I like them to come out and show some mettle, some fortitude here, but I do like Mississippi State to cover. I will take comfortable victory for Alabama. Let's go by 18 points, so I'll go 38-20.
I'm taking Mississippi State to cover too. You guys said it all.
All on Lychee Row.
Yep.
Let's round it out with Kansas Cats against
This is an interesting one.
it's
Love
Duggan
this game.
and TCU.
This was up at 5.5 earlier in the week.
This is weird. This is sneaky. This is one of those games that
This is a standard time for
Kansas State just
Kansas
sneaks
State to-
around the barn door and nips you.
Yeah. I'm going with my Cats here to win it. I think TCU's been playing with not fire necessarily, but they probably should have lost last week if Dan had his way. They did.
Yeah.
And I will take Kansas State to finish the job here.
How much do they have left in the emotional tank? The skillet, starting with the skillet.
Also, Duggan got hurt last week, didn't he?
Yeah, he was hobbled. They had the guy who started over him.
Yeah, Chandler Morris.
So
I'll go with Martinez. Martinez still hasn't thrown an interception this year, I think.
hopefully that
through-
continues.
Threw like 28 at Nebraska or something like that. So
Coincidence?
I don't know.
I think not. No, I got your Cats as well. Just the emotional tank on E.
HP or
It'll get them one of these next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
How about
exactly.
No hedging
HP
P
or
for
no?
this. No, Cats.
Cats all the way. We're all
Cats all the way.
I am with you in your statement on it will get them.
Not this week though.
Not this week though. I'll
2 on Cats.
I'll ride this horned frog another week, and I'll take them to cover. But yes, it is coming.
Alrighty. We are into the HT.
Oh, we are.
We are. Are you going to preview your game anyway?
On
This is on Peacock. This is not on NBC.
the cock. On the
This
cock.
is on the cock. This is on the cock.
It is.
Do you
it's,
have a subscription to the cock, AY?
well, there's Peacock is free, but I don't know if this game's on premium or not. Is it on premium? I assume it would be.
I feel like if it says Peacock on ESPN, then it means that it is on the premium. Like you have to have it.
That being said, I sent a text earlier today to a buddy, Ben Freeze. We're talking about movies, and
Mr. Fries.
Mr. Fries, yeah, and Halloween Ends is on Peacock,
Ben Simmons' Nets debut, 4 points, 6 fouls,
and as I alluded to
minus
earlier,
26-point differential.
that's Ben Simmons. As we alluded to earlier in the program, one of my 3 favorite Halloween things
What about Halloween Ends?
is Michael Myers, so I have to see it, obviously.
Yeah.
So I will fork up the 5, view that, view a few more horror films in the next 2 weeks, and therefore have access to this game. That being said, I will be at Goat Checks for the game.
Ooh.
It's his
I'm sure he's sparing no expense.
daughter's
The
first birthday.
Happy
Mazel
birthday.
tov to the goat checks.
It's more of a hey, come hang out for a little bit. So
Paolo coming in with 27 points in his debut.
I just got sniped at him in the fantasy draft. I'll show you my team later.
I can't wait to see this.
That being said, I don't care about the game. I mean, I'm not going to preview it. I believe UNLV's good quarterback is Greenfield, something like that. Some folks on Twitter last week when I was looking up their Denver Air Force, they said, if he plays, we could, think go on a 4-1 stretch here. Shut up. He didn't play. They got blown out. He plays, doesn't play, doesn't matter. They're going to lose. How can I back Notre Dame in 24? It's 26.5 some places. Can't do it. I'll take UNLV the points. Notre Dame score 27? I don't know. They can. Let's push last week out. Let's say they win. Let's be positive here to end it. Notre Dame scores 34. UNLV scores 13, though. Doesn't cover. UNLV is bad. Notre Dame's not good. Close fire. Dan, where are you going?
So when I first heard this quarterback's name, Brumfield, I immediately thought of the guy. His name is actually Scott Blumstein, who won the 2017 World Series of Poker. I thought maybe part of his award was he got to be the UNLV quarterback, but not to be confused with Scott Blumstein. Shout out to him. So I'm taking the Irish, though. I'm laying him. That's all. I picked them a lot this year. With not a lot of no. What are they also 3-3 against the spread?
Yeah.
So they covered Ohio State, didn't cover Marshall, didn't cover Cal, covered
Carolina.
BYU, covered Carolina, and then
3-3.
So 3-3. I think I picked them every week.
Ken, who are you taking?
Blumstein.
I think they'll get right here. I'll take a get right game. UNLV is pretty ass. I'll take Notre Dame here, 31-7. Oh, no, 31-6.
Oh, yeah.
You need it. You need the extra point.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Second up.
Where did you guys go with this?
I took Notre Dame. AY, you took the Rams.
34-13. Yeah. Come on, show me something here. I'm fired up for this game.
Oh my gosh.
Soder State down to 3.5. Can
It is down to 3.5. In the offseason, 9. It's -9.
Oh, wow.
Last week at the two-week look. Oh man. Yankees just gave up a home run.
the updates of baseball from Can. Love it.
Yeah. Actually, I could watch it through the window over there in the conference room across the way. Watch it from over in the building next door. I don't even need this
phone. Was it Gurriel?
Yeah, it was Gurriel.
Yuli.
Yeah.
The girly man. A girly man.
He's like 38.
Yeah.
That's good.
The early line last week was 4.5. It got bumped up to like 6. And then I think it opened at 6 on Sunday and came all the way down to 4.5, 4, and now today 3.5. I'm hoping to get to 3 and I'll hit it again. Like I said at the summary of the Michigan game, Penn State's got a crossroads here. They're going to go up against another team that will want to run Mo Ibrahim a shit ton. Especially with Morgan being, at best less than 100%, I think, if he's playing. I do expect him to play from what I understand. But he got carted off last week. Will it be 100%? We don't know. I'm sure Shiraka, the Shiraka man, will want to come in and show what he's made out of. Obviously, he's unceremoniously discharged in favor of Yurcich. He can come back into a stadium he coached in front of a couple hundred fans throughout his 4 or 5 games in town, and instead he'll have 110,000 of his closest friends roaring down on him. Whiteout game. Still
the light
apparently-
show, Can. Don't forget to plug the
The
light
light
show.
show. The light show. The light
Keep
show.
forgetting this is a whiteout game.
Yeah. There'll be a ton of recruits up there. I think over 70 already confirmed that have offers from Penn State. It'll be an interesting game. I think. Oh, so we saw Sean at practice today. He was in pads and practicing. He obviously got knocked out of the game last week. Something with his shoulder. Didn't play the last 2 series of the game. Allen there. Really, I do not want another repeat of the Illinois game last year where Sean was much less than 100%.
Can I sign up for the Illinois game again?
No, I don't think you want that either. I don't think you want that
No,
either.
I
No, I
my
don't.
worst enemies, I would not wish that game.
If I could fast forward to first overtime, then yes, I would take it.
Okay, yes. I do not want that again. The weather should be immaculate. 68-degree high on Saturday. Should be fantastic tailgating weather. Control what you can control. So have a good day tailgating. We're going to go in there. Defense is going to have another test. They had their manhood questioned, not just again, but I think as sharply as they've had it tested and questioned in a long time. Oh, my God, they hit another home run.
These,
Not good, Clark.
McCormick.
Chaz?
Uh,
Production from Yuli and Chaz? What the heck is going on?
That's not a good. That's
they
gonna
have the
be
Gator Chomp going. What's a Gator Chomp? What is that? Okay, so there was the most yardage they've given up this 400 plus against Michigan since. Well, they gave up like 300, I think 70 or something like that last year against Illinois, but it's the most they've given up since 2013 against Ohio State. I think they lost 60-14, 63-14 or something like that in that game.
That game was abominable.
That was abominable back then. They need to find a way to stem the bleeding, stop the bleeding. I think, one, Penn State has not been very good under Franklin after bye weeks. So they were due for this week, having a good week. That did not happen. Penn State equally as abominable after their first loss of the season. They are due again to snap a bad trend. I do think, at least from the defensive side of the ball, they can, against a lesser, a poorer man's Michigan team here, Minnesota, have some success. I think they will continue to load up, especially with the dinged up Morgan, and trust, especially a receiving core that doesn't have an Ottman Bell. I don't think they're very explosive. I think they will take their chances and absolutely load up to stop Ibrahim. Which is the right move. You can't let him pop any runs or break tackles and off to the races. So I do expect a play or two from him. I still think he'll get his. You just can't let Tanner Morgan hurt you. I think they'll use a similar game plan to what Michigan used last week and really just let them dink and dunk, which is all McCarthy needed to do. And I think it's just there'll be a play or two here. Penn State can pop one on them. You have to be able to run the ball. You have to show you can run the ball against a team that Illinois was able to do it against. Michigan State was not, and it was a gross game against Purdue. That game against Purdue, and then what they showed against Illinois, I'm thinking Penn State can pull it out here. I'll take the cover as well. 3.5 down to 3.5 here. I'll go 28-24. I think it'll be a good game, but now that it is under that 4, I will take the cover.
Smells like 24-21 to me. Hedging P first of the night. HP. I gotta see. I haven't seen very much Minnesota. Obviously the results, but as I pointed out before, Football Outsiders at plus, which has been unreliable this year. 8th for Minnesota. 17th for Penn State. And the fact that that hasn't been radically adjusted despite them losing. Obviously, the Purdue game kind of throw it out with Ibrahim. Purdue's solid. But losing that game last week to Burr. Oh, be interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll play it safe with hedging P here.
See, as now that we're coming up on AYT season,
Oh
uh,
yes,
big fan of the numbers. If it spits it out,
yeah.
I mean, I'm
But
gonna,
I'm telling you for sure, this has been unreliable. It's been not. F
yeah,
plus could be out the window if with another
well,
unreliable year next year.
I'm even probably going to wait it 2-3 weeks for AYT to start into the season so we can really
Yeah.
get that sauce going.
Exactly.
We're humming into last year. So yeah,
And the Bart Tolvik.
yeah, big bar guy. You can customize it. I found this week. I think I found this week. Anyways, I didn't. But I like. So the numbers with the 8 and 17 there, that very telling to me. I like these formula based systems, these algorithms. But it's hard to get the memory of a Minnesota team. And we mentioned the 2016 game, even the 2018 game at Minnesota, that was back and forth, and Minnesota was up like 10 with like 4 minutes to go, and had that wild stand and pick in the end zone by Win. Maybe it wasn't a pick, but they held on up north. I don't think they're built for this game. I know they have the Ibrahim to run the ball here, and expose Penn State's deficiencies there. But I think the whiteout kick buys Penn State a few points, and they escape and somewhat get right. I'm not saying they win by 7. I'll say, but they need to, because if not, you don't want to lose this game and then be staring down a Buckeyes team that can pretty much do whatever they want on offense to win this game, or else it could unravel. Should be all right. Moving on.
Yeah, crossroads game for
What did you pick again?
who, me?
No,
I took
Penn State.
Touchdown.
you did. It what riding?
AY rides.
Yep,
I kind of semi-riding. But yeah, crossroads game for my team.
Underdogs.
Within the cross, yeah, underdog, small underdog. This week, as Ken already pointed out, small underdog next week at North Carolina. We'll see if that changes. North Carolina on a bye, so this would have to be Pitt outperforming expectations in order for or underperforming. Can't be glass half full without being glass half empty.
That's true.
Malik, don't call me Mikhail Cunningham. We've seen both Cunninghams. I believe he was Mikhail back in 2020. Now he's Malik again. He'll be back, and it's been a knuckleball team. I use that term not necessarily as a term of endearment. Team going through their schedule, smushed by Syracuse, beat UCF, who I really like, and we'll get to them momentarily. Blow one to Florida State at home, smash South Florida. So they're a zigzag team, winning and losing every other game. Did beat the Zimas with the backup quarterback before going on their bye. Congratulations, everybody's beating the Zimas this year. I think what I was looking for previewing this game, Jaden Bradley did transfer. I was complaining about that, where I get my Pitt news in what I like to think of a nice packaged format of I listen for an hour, I know what the heck's going on, I don't have to go read behind a paywall or anything like that. But Jaden Bradley, wide receiver, probably Pitt's 4th or 3rd wide receiver, did transfer midseason, strangely. I don't know. I'm sure there may be more details released on that. But other than that, should be healthier than they have been the rest of the season. We'll see what the offensive line, that starting lineup looks like for Pitt. Need to come out and get a push, because it seems like they're going to be a bit of a one-dimensional team. Hopefully that's not just Israel Banacanda. Hopefully with Rodney Hammond coming back to the fold potentially. He's strong performances and we made it an hour and 4 minutes. The autoplay just hit in my ear. There it goes. So yeah, I don't have too much to say other than crossroads game for Pitt. I'm going to bank on them making the right turn at the fork in the road, and we'll see what happens these next two games, because even a split is probably kind of obviously if you're going to split, you would rather lose this game than the North Carolina game for divisional purposes, but I think to try and get this thing back on track and salvage some of the momentum built from last season, they got to win this game, and I think they will. And I don't know what score to pick. They've played a variety of games score-wise, and I think it's probably going to be on the lower scoring end with what they want to do on the road. So I will go what did I say? I already said 24. I already used that 24-21 score with Penn State. I will say a little bit higher. I'll go 27-21. Pitt pulls it out on the road at the Papa John. It's still called Papa John's, right?
I think so.
Yeah, at the Papa John.
Jays.
There's some weird things too. I've glossed over. We talked about it last week, I think, in the recap. Scott Satterfield. There was a rumor he might be fired if they lost to Virginia 2 weeks ago. So I wonder how the bye week and those preparations.
And Malik was out for that game, and someone else.
Yeah, right.
Malik
Yeah. So it was like they were setting it up. This does just say Cardinal Stadium now, by the way. I'm looking at it. That's interesting.
They heard their disdain for those NFL stadiums, and they said we're getting rid of Papa John's.
Exactly. Yeah. Only two NFL franchises. Fun fact.
2.5.
2.5. Right. Haven't sold out with naming rights to their stadium.
Yes.
So maybe we'll get to that next week. There's your trivia question ahead of next week's show.
What are the two stadiums?
That's what I got.
And which divisions are they in?
My first thought was Lambeau.
That's one.
There's one.
Second thought is Acrisure.
That would be a sellout.
Second one, we'll have to think on it.
Okay. The 2.5 is
we haven't had any history as well in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I know. You're slacking.
I know. I thought about it.
he thought.
It crossed my mind. Now I'm gonna tackle this Paul Brown Stadium.
Not anymore.
Yep.
Not anymore. Paul Brown.
Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati.
Sellouts.
We talked about Paul Brown Stadium, Massillon's Paul Brown Stadium as well. Paul Brown Tiger Stadium, I think. Godfather of football.
Going Pitt. I'm going Pitt too.
I'm on Pitt. We're all on Pitt.
I bet I can.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We're all on Pitt.
Locks?
Locks. I got a lock.
I just found one too. Yeah.
I need to check the line on mine because I was waiting. I like to wait until the very last second. Already on the board. It didn't change. Shoot. UCF -5. They're my ace. I guess that wasn't really bold either because I think they were only, plus 350. I picked them to win the American. UCF with Malzahn. Anus, just the chaos he lives in for all these years, for better or worse, it baffles me. And I do think they're probably getting a little bit of love. They put 70 on Temple last week, but I still like them to win this conference over the likes of Cincinnati. I mean, Daner's been dispatched, even though he's only 1-1 in conference. Looks like Cincinnati and Tulane, that's going to be the 3-horse race. So that's who I got. Golden Knights on the road in Greenville. Night game as well. 7:30 kick at Dowdy Fickle Stadium. They didn't sell out.
They did not. Luke Fickle stole the name on the board.
Yeah. Oh, it's Ficklin. I thought it was Fickle for all these years. It's Ficklin. Maybe they just added the N on there because of Fickle being in the A's.
Maybe they didn't want the tampering charges for trying to lure him over there.
Right.
In conference. I am taking a fade against those hapless Zimas. And I'm taking Georgia Tech here -3.
Now that is bold.
That is gross.
That is disgusting. But he believes. You believe in the
I believe in the
and
influence.
saw how hard they played against Pitt.
And Key. I am a believer in Key. Brent Key.
Yeah.
Believer. We got overtime in Memphis here in game 1. Very nice.
All right.
That's
That's basketball.
well, I'm gonna bring up Memphis in a second.
They had overtime this past week in Memphis as well.
A big thing with my
Before Memphis.
even with AYT, more so in the CTC end of the year, is recent form. Obviously, your 2-3 week form, but there's a little bit of sauce adding your preseason expectations, your talent level, what you are perceived to be all off season. Maybe it doesn't gel. Last year, Georgia State, prime example. Sun Belt. They were the 8th
Didn't they end up winning it though, or no?
Yeah, they were the 8th seed in the conference tournament, and I was like, this team is so much better than an 8th seed. They beat the Raging Cajuns in the final. Well, maybe they weren't. Maybe the Cajuns were the 8th seed. Either way, the Georgia State was very underseeded because they struggled in the year, but they got it going. This year, in football, looking at preseason odds, which I have right here, in the American, Houston was 2-1 to win the American. Navy 100-1. This week, Houston is at Navy. Per FanDuel, 1 minute ago, Houston's laying 2.5. I know Houston's not as good as they were supposed to be. No, Navy is not good. Yeah, a little better. But you're telling me that Houston all they did was bet field goal at Navy. But Houston just took into overtime, won at Memphis last week. I'm taking the Cougs, Danner, the whole 9. They played.
How ass as Ken Envin?
Kansas. I'm going Cougs -2.5 in Annapolis.
How ass has Ken N been since he began the year losing to Delaware? Has he continued to be ass?
He
He's
beat
been-
somebody. He beat
They've
Air
been-
Force,
they've
didn't he?
been better.
No, they
played
beat.
Air Force close.
Yeah, they hammered Tulsa. That's the one, and they beat
Yeah.
Anus.
I think that's just a little overreaction here. But
Yeah.
preseason 2-1, 100-1. That's 2.5 points. I'll take the bait.
All
They
right,
did hammer.
I like it.
All right, I'll take it. I'll go with you. I'll put some money down right now.
Here we go. That is it for your week 8 preview. We'll be back next week if you're listening live. Dawn might be after dark a little bit. Cam's got a busy week.
Yes.
But we will see you on next Wednesday. And we get to preview a little Penn State, Ohio State next week. And Irish Cuse. What a weekend. Who's picked it?
Pitt versus Mac.
Oh yeah, right. That's right. We just mentioned it. Pitt versus Mac. Big weekend for the try next week.
Yeah, finally.
Let's get through this week first.
1-0.
1-0 mentality.
Me, AY, from the People State Capital Blue State of Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. To my west. Eberg.
Night all. UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi this weekend as well.
There you go.
Human rights people rejoicing.
To my
Good night. I'm trying to find Houston.
thank you for listening. We'll see you next week for week 9. Have a good one.